Hey car lovers! Welcome back to ATC Auto, your go-to spot for car reviews, auto tech, and the best stories from the road. Today, we're diving into something iconic, elegant, and truly timeless: the legendary Aston Martin Classic lineup. When you hear the name Aston Martin, it's impossible not to picture grace, power, and British automotive prestige wrapped into one. The name alone triggers thoughts of grand touring, pure craftsmanship, and of course, James Bond cool. The Aston Martin Classic series isn't just about cars, it's about a lifestyle, a statement, and a legacy that has spanned over 100 years. From the earliest models to the timeless DB5 and beyond, each Aston Martin has been designed not just to drive, but to stir the soul. Let's start with design, where beauty meets engineering. Aston Martin classics like the DB4, DB5, DB6, and the unforgettable V8 Vantage were born in a time when cars weren't just machines, they were art. These cars were sculpted by hand with perfect attention to proportion, detail, and flow. The long hoods, short rear decks, and signature front grille defined not only Aston Martin but the entire grand touring segment. The DB5, in particular, became the poster child for automotive sophistication. Thanks to its starring role as 007's ultimate ride, the DB5 remains one of the most famous cars in the world. But beyond its movie fame, the DB5 stood tall on its own merit, combining lightweight aluminum bodywork, beautiful Italian-inspired curves, and British engineering excellence. Inside these masterpieces, the experience was just as refined. Real leather interiors, hand-finished wooden dashboards, and analog dials reminded you that you weren't sitting in a machine. You were seated in a work of art. Every stitch, every button, every dial had a purpose, and each component aged like fine wine, earning more charm over the decades. Underneath that stunning design, Aston Martins have always packed serious power. From the smooth, straight-six engines of the early DB models to the brutish V8 engines of the later years, these cars were not built to sit still. They were designed for the open road, for grand tours across Europe, and for passionate drivers who appreciated both beauty and speed. But the magic of Aston Martin doesn't stop at design and performance. Their legacy is deeply tied to motorsport. Success, world-class craftsmanship, and a refusal to compromise between luxury and racing heritage. Aston Martin Classics hold a place in history as one of the few brands that mastered both. Now, let's shift gears and talk about performance and what it really feels like to drive or own an Aston Martin Classic. From the beginning, Aston Martin always believed a car should feel alive under the driver's control, and classics like the DB4 GT, DB5 Vantage, and V8 Vantage delivered just that. The engines offered the perfect blend of smooth acceleration and a deep, powerful soundtrack, unmatched even by today's modern supercars. Take the DB5, for example. Under its long hood sat a 4.0-liter inline-six engine producing around 282 horsepower, which might sound modest by today's standards, but back in the 1960s, it was serious muscle. This wasn't a car built for drag racing. It was built for effortless cruising, dynamic cornering, and mile-after-mile comfort at speed. Then came the mighty V8 Vantage of the 1970s, a car that many called Britain's first supercar. It packed nearly 390 horsepower, hit 0-60 mph in about 5.2 seconds, and offered top speeds beyond 170 mph. Impressive figures even by today's benchmarks. But driving an Aston Martin Classic isn't just about the numbers. It's about the way the steering communicates the road, the way the suspension